Today, we've got a really cool story for you about a company's surprising transformation. We're going to talk about SejoongIS, a company that started out deep in the world of heavy industry and somehow ended up on a mission to clean the world's water. Let's dive in and see how they made that incredible jump. So let me ask you this. Can a company that builds software for steel mills and car factories actually clean a polluted lake? It sounds a little out there, right? I mean, it seems like two completely different worlds. But believe it or not, that's exactly the journey we're about to explore.
All right, let's meet our main character in this story, a company called SejoongIS. They got their start back in 2007, kicking things off as a small but very specialized IT company right in the heart of South Korea's industrial scene.
Now, to really get why their pivot to clean water is so amazing, you first have to understand where they came from. Their world wasn't about green parks and clear streams. No, it was all about the tough, complex, and data-driven environment of the modern factory. And they weren't just dabbling. We're talking about building the complex software that runs huge operations. Things like enterprise resource planning, supply chain management, and smart safety systems. And their clients? Giants of industry like the steelmaker POSCO and Renault Motors. These guys were the real deal when it came to making heavy industry run smarter and safer. And check this out. 75. That's not a typo. They were managing the core software systems for 75 different companies affiliated with a massive corporation. That just shows you the scale we're talking about. They knew how to handle incredibly complex, mission-critical systems, and that expertise is going to be key to what happens next. Okay, so they've built this solid foundation as industrial IT experts. They're successful, they're respected, and then the story takes this completely fascinating turn. Something fundamental started to shift inside the company, setting them on a brand new path. And that shift? It was driven by the company's CEO, Sol Jin-hyun, and this core belief he held. He was convinced that at the end of the day, technology, business, all of it should be about serving people. This wasn't just some nice quote for a plaque on the wall. It became the actual guiding star for a massive change in direction. You see, while he was working on all these smart factory projects, the CEO saw a problem he just couldn't ignore. All the industrial wastewater pollution. He was seeing the environmental cost of manufacturing up close. So, in 2016, he made a huge call. He decided to aim his company's powerful tech expertise at solving that very problem. Now, to really appreciate their new mission, you have to understand the problem they were up against. The standard way to clean polluted water was, well, to dump a bunch of harsh chemicals into it. And yeah, that can work, but it often creates what's called second-degree pollution. Basically, you're left with nasty chemical leftovers that can harm the ecosystem all over again. So SejoongIS set this incredibly ambitious goal: clean the water using only technology, leaving absolutely nothing harmful behind. And this new mission led them to create something totally new. They took all that deep experience they had with data, with sensors, with automation, and they pointed it all at an environmental target. They call it SWIC, which stands for Smart Water Quality Integrated Platform. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but the name really tells you everything. It's a system built on AI and the Internet of Things that manages the whole water purification process from beginning to end. And most importantly, it's 100% chemical-free. So how does this thing actually work? Well, it's a pretty slick 4-stage process. First, its AI brain predicts how the water quality might change. Then, a network of IoT sensors diagnoses what's happening in the water in real time. Based on all that data, the system deploys its secret weapon, eco-friendly tech using microbubbles and ozone to purify the water. And finally, it reports back, showing the improvements and, this is huge, the cost savings. It's a complete, intelligent, self-contained loop. And the benefits here are just crystal clear. Because there are no chemicals, the only thing it leaves behind is oxygen. So that whole secondary pollution problem? Gone. Plus, because it's so data-driven, it uses less energy, which lowers the cost. And the results are incredible. It can take really polluted water, we're talking 4th or 5th grade, and clean it up to a much, much healthier 2nd or 3rd grade. And look, this isn't just a cool idea on a whiteboard. The SWIC platform is already out there, in the real world, doing its job right now. It's been deployed in over 15 locations, cleaning up public waters from Songtang Pond in Daegu, Korea, all the way to Fengtai Garden in China. They're proving day in and day out that this technology works. So, with all that proof in hand, SejoongIS started thinking bigger, a lot bigger. Their mission grew from just cleaning local ponds to taking on one of the biggest challenges facing the entire world. And you know what? The world started to take notice. Big time. They got recognized by their own city as a high-potential startup. They became the very first Korean tech company to be selected for a major European R&D program. They won awards at international innovation competitions. All of this external praise just confirmed they were absolutely on the right track. So now they're taking this incredible technology on the road. They're specifically targeting regions that are really struggling with water scarcity, places like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia. In fact, they've already set up a corporation in Indonesia, which shows just how serious they are about becoming a true leader in the global water industry. But their ambition doesn't stop there, not even close. The CEO's ultimate dream is to build what he calls a Water Korea brand, making South Korea a global powerhouse in water technology, and eventually to take the company public through an IPO. It's just a huge, bold vision that started on a factory floor and is now ready for the world stage. I mean, it's just an incredible transformation. You go from optimizing supply chains to literally restoring ecosystems. It really makes you wonder, as this small, mission-driven company keeps growing, what other massive global problems could be solved by taking that same focused, tech-first approach, all guided by a simple people-first philosophy?